morning, it's Leila here from the Comic Connection with this week's comic book reviews. And first up, we're going to start with a couple of send-ins. So first up, we've got Lucy Legacy, written and drawn by Brian Evanue. This is a fun romp featuring a schoolgirl out to avenge the apparent death of her sister at the hands of alien invaders, armed with a hammer and a field hockey stick. It was not bad. For a 24-hour comic challenge, it was pretty good. The art is effective, it's full of action, it's got definite schoolgirl lingo that is really fun. It was a pretty enjoyable read, so good job. Next up, we've got The Eternal, Final Dawn #1. This is written by Justin McConnell, Kevin Hutchinson, and Adam Kenneth Wilson, with art by Justin Erickson. This is the life story of Samuel Gradius, who's born in 1463 Scotland, but that wasn't his name then. And issue #1 covers the time period from 1463 to 1496, and the series is going to continue over 12 parts leading up to 2010. So you can guess that he's something other than a human. The art didn't grab me too much, but the story is kind of interesting. For fans of vampire stories, you're probably going to like this one, although very little of the actual story is revealed here. This is like really an intro part to the story. It's a good primer for the upcoming film, which is currently still listed as in development, so who knows when we'll see that. But if you're interested in vampire stuff, this one might grab you. Next up, we've got Stuff of Legend, Volume 1, Book 1. This is written by Mike Raked and Brian Smith, with art by Charles Paul Wilson III. Okay, this book was really cool. In this, a boy is kidnapped, and his toys enter the dangerous realm of the dark to save him. They face off against the boogeyman and a legion of the boy's forgotten bitter toys, and discover that they're fighting for more than the return of their master. I just loved it. It's got great art. The format's different. You can see it's not a regular comic book size, but that really actually works for the book. It looks like it's going to be a children's book, but it's definitely not just for kids. It's really a must-read. It's just really ingenious. I really enjoyed it. So if you get to see it, because this is a second printing actually, if you get to see it on the shelves, pick it up. I don't think you'll be disappointed. Next up, we've got Reign the List Avengers one-shot, written by Brian Michael Bendis, with art by Marco Jurjevic. In this one, Norman Osborn has a to-do list that he's writing down, and it's sort of a list of the things in the world that need to be different in his view, and one of them has him focusing on the Avengers. Meanwhile, the Avengers, prompted by Clint Barton, have set their sights on Norman, and it's time to and wonder if it's time to take him out of the picture. But can they really just kill someone? I mean, isn't that against some sort of superhero code? This was great, actually. I really didn't think it would be that good. I thought it would be one of those Dark Reign things that just wasn't going to be exciting. But I really liked the art and the story. This is Norman at the height of his madness, and the heroes at their most heroic. Hopefully the rest of the list books are as exciting. Next week Daredevil comes out, and the preview in this one for it looked pretty good. So if you want to jump onto Reign the List, which is a series of 8 one-shots, you have to start with this one, and then Daredevil next week. And last but not least, we've got Nomad, Girl Without a World, #1 of 4, written by Sean McKeever and art by David Baldian. In this one, Ricky Barnes, aka Nomad, finds herself in a strange new world, one in which Steve Rogers is dead and she never existed. She was never his trusty sidekick, and even her brother is different. Trying to adjust to this new way of life, she still tries to fight crime starting in her high school while trying to meet the new Cap, hoping that if she finally meets him, maybe everything will sort of turn right in her world. This was sort of surprisingly good. I enjoyed the art of the story. I wasn't really familiar with the character, but I found her really cool. She's got a real Peter Parker vibe, but she's a really cool girl. They even make sort of a little reference riff to, you know, Spider-Man, so that was kind of neat. So if you're looking for a new story about a female superhero, this is not a bad one to pick up.
Hey folks, Jim here with this week's comic reviews. First up, Cybertronian Recognition Guide by Doug Lynn and Harold Judkins. Now, this is not a comic book, but it is the authoritative guide on Transformers toys from G1. Now, if you've never seen this guide, this is the best guide you will ever get on Transformers toys. It covers pretty much everything from Gen 1 from 1984 till 1989. And at 25 bucks full color, it's not a bad deal. I cannot recommend this highly enough for any Transformers toy collectors out there, or Transformers fans in general that want to know, what am I missing? What came with this toy? Etc., etc. And there's so many great questions answered in this book. It's a must for any Transformers fan. Next up, Gurren Lagann Volume 2 by Kotaro Mori. In this one, we follow Yoko, Simone, and Kamina as they learn just how hard it can be to live on the surface world. With constant Beastman attacks, giant mecha being treated as gods and trying to relax at a hot spring, their adventures just continue and continue. I'm having a lot of fun with this series. It's a really good retelling of the anime series with a lot of new stuff thrown in for kicks. It actually works quite well. Art's fantastic, story is fun. If you're a manga fan, try this one out. You're going to enjoy it. Next up, a reader send-in from Asylum Press. Fearless Dawn #1, written and drawn by Steve Magnon. In this one, jet-riding good girl Fearless Dawn battles her enemy Helga von Kraus after breaking into the Manitoba sector. Only to discover the secret of Helga's Nazi monsters. Can Dawn get out alive? I had a fantastic time with this book. Steve Magnon's art is gorgeous. I cannot recommend this book highly enough. It is absolutely, positively fantastic. Great art, great story, great coloring. It's the total package, people. If you've never read this series before, you're going to get the chance because it's in your new issue of previews right now on page 202. Order it in. I beg you. Next, and last but not least, Transformers Tales of the Fallen #2, written by Simon Furman, with art by Carlos Magno. In this one, Sideswipe has a single goal, the pursuit and destruction of his enemies, in this case, the Decepticon Demolisher. I was okay with this issue. It's okay. Not great, not fantastic, just okay. Carlos' art seems really muddy in this issue, so I can't really highly recommend it enough. It's not that great, but not that bad either. If you're a Transformers fan, try it out. You might like it.